Well, lucky you. We meet again. Charlie Greer podcast. Like, share, subscribe, comment. If you want to support the shit show, it's in the description. And I'm on this theme this week because of the big Motley Crue Def Leppard tour. Again, I love Motley Crue. I ain't pointing no fingers. I love the Crue. Def Leppard, Poison, Joan Jett. I'm a fan of all those. I don't have their albums, most of them, but I don't think I've ever owned a Def Leppard album. But when I hear them, I'm like, hey, reminds me of good times. I love the first Poison record. That is a great album. Joan Jett. Maybe I've owned a Joan Jett, the one with the pink when she's got leather up. Maybe I used to have that. My sister was a Joan Jett fan. But yeah, Motley Crue playing to backing tracks. Now, hey, again, I love the Crue. I'm not throwing any shade. Obviously, all the bands on the tour are. Even Joan Jett, when I looked up, I went down the deep dive yesterday, man. I went down the rabbit hole of the... And she's not as much, but the other bands are playing to... basically, they're singing over a backing track. They might be even playing along with but that's what they're doing. And look, I get it. In the rock and roll world, that's kind of taboo, though. But people have been doing it like since the 70s and 80s. Like Ministry, and they know. Matter of fact, they used to have tape machines, 9-inch nails. In the industrial world, or whatever you want to call it, that's fine. It's just this rock and roll kind of holier than now. I get it. The footage I saw, people want to have a good time, and everybody looked like they were having a great time. That's what's important. Also, I come from that theater. I study theater and art, and theater, you're using pre-recorded everything basically. You might be doing live vocals, but everything else is pre-recorded, and this, that, and. But yeah, there's going to be some purists that like Motley Crue, right? But yeah, they are playing to it. And that drummer they've got, he's not even on. You could tell. Look at the drum. They know. Or, the guitarist about like Mick Mars when he's soloing, which they might even like punch him in just to do like a live solo over the. You can still hear rhythm guitars. There's only one guitarist. Where's all these other guitars? Because they're playing to a backing track. I get it. Basically, the singer is singing over a song. I don't even think. They might have here and there punch them in so it sounds live, but I don't think the drums are. I know the bass and the guitar there. It's just. I get it, man. You want to peacock around and be hey, but you should let people. Again, you wouldn't get as much because that's going to glitch up, man. As soon as that laptop or whatever they're using, coordinator, and it skips or whatever, they're going to be. Yeah. They need to play it, lean into it. Be like, yeah, man, we want the best sounding show. Sure, we're playing live over some backing. Don't, because Kiss does it. A lot of bands do it. A lot of bands. And again, I would, hey, if I could do it, I would too. I would love to do like a one-man show where I could just like program. Sounds like I got backing singers and a drummer and woo, I'm up there. And that's probably coming too. But yeah, the Motley Crue, they're definitely playing. And so is Def Leppard, Poison, even Joan Jett. I was watching some footage of Joan Jett. It's not as much, but they're playing to some kind of backing track. Just to make them sound more cohesive and this and that, Live music it's tough. And in the sun, keeping guitars in tune and just that big, stadium they're playing in or whatever it is. I get it. And most people, if you had a survey, you can take the survey before you leave the stadium. They didn't know. They're not going to know this. Like, they sounded great. They were awesome. That's all that matters, man. I saw the people like, yeah, they had camera. They were filming the footage I saw. You could see the people. They're having a great time. That's the most important thing. So I'm not throwing shade, Motley Crue. I love Motley Crue. And they're older. I get it. Matter of fact, I couldn't do what they're doing. I mean, I couldn't do it. People make fun of Vince Neil, the singer Motley Crue. Oh yeah, the Def Leppard, dude. You know how hard it is just to tour. Yeah, I might do a couple shows and then you get exhausted and you drink too much one night or whatever, man. You get sick. You get, it's just a lot of traveling. When you travel and you're on an airplane and in your ears, and then the next thing, and you do it another day, dude. That you gotta. That's the thing. I never got to the point where I was in a tour bus. We had vans. I was in let alone a air train. No. So yeah, I'm not. I couldn't do it. So I mean, I'm not trying to be like a armchair quarterback. No, man, I take my hat off to them. Matter of fact, it sounded awesome. I mean, some of the vocals, whatever, but as far as the backtrack, they sounded good. I mean, I get, you want to entertain. It's a show. I think that they should lean into it and let people know, because there are going to be some glitches. There are going to be, it's not if, but when that's going to happen. So you better. And again, in the industrial world, people since the 80s, yeah, we're playing for who cares? We're rocking, Ministry, that's all. 9 Inch Nails, that's all they get. That's what they do. I mean, in some of those like pop band, European, that's what they nowadays everybody does it. I'm sure I wouldn't know. I've never used any kind of backing track. I've never been on stage with a keyboard, none of that. But we're doing 3-chord rock and roll. When you get to when you record a Motley Crue album, you got backup singers and this, that, and the other. And it's hard to replicate that live, unless you got like 10 people, unless you're like Bruce Springsteen with like 16 people on stage. And Poison, again, the drummer in Poison wasn't even to the click, or wasn't even and at one point he looked like he stopped for a minute. I mean, how old are these dudes? I'm 51. They're older than me. They got to be 10 years old. What? 60, 61, maybe older. I don't know. So and Def Leppard, that definitely there. They were, the vocals are live. And I'm sure maybe they, punch them in for a solo or whatever. And it was kind of awesome to see them like playing in the rain. It started raining. They're just out there. Hey, it was raining. And I get it's like, how do you rain? Everything's playing. I know there's wireless systems for your guitar and this and that, but you're on a conduction and light. Pretty awesome, man. Granted, you're strumming a guitar that's not. But at the end of the day, you want to put on an awesome show. Most people are not musicians like me. They don't, they want to sing girls, 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 or pour some sugar on me, or what does Poison sing? Every rose has its thorn, or whatever. Joan Jett, I love rock and roll. And that's the song. I noticed that Joan Jett was using some kind of backing. Even that I love rock and roll, maybe just background, but they all were using some kind of, granted, it makes you make the sound better, just lean into it. Like, yeah, why not? The technology's there. If it was theater, nobody would care, And I'm surprised, granted, I haven't looked today, but I'm surprised there aren't any like elitist guys that have never been in bands. It's like, how dare they? It's like, dude, can you even play a guitar? You can hold a note and then get up, and then do it again the next day. I wonder if they've got to have like 2 rigs, like one rig, and then they have an advanced team where they set it and then they move the other one. They have to be doing that. That's a huge stage. And some of the stuff was pretty awesome, like the Motley Crue and the these girls, these inflatable girls. That was awesome. I like rock and roll. I like a show. I like to be entertained. And we all been cooped up, so it's like, hey. And, why not? Why not just, make it, a good show. That production team on that tour, man, there must be, man. 100 people just do it during the show. I'm not even talking about roadies. I'm talking about the production team where people are like, hey, well, everything's gone. You know, can you imagine just wiring that up, getting everything synced up and calibrated? And that's a talent in itself. You need like a team of dudes. And when you're old, even when you're young, you're touring around, you're moving, and you're walking how many miles a day, and this, that, and the other, and you're not, you get, sleeping whenever you can. They're probably traveling with like chiropractors and massage there, yoga, just to keep you, doctors, they're probably getting like B12 shots and, just to keep that moving. And they probably have backup dudes. Look for that too. Like there's going to be, show must go on. So somebody, whatever happens, and I have a feeling that's going to happen. Hey, our guitarist just got sick or whatever. So now we brought in, whoever, or the singer got, so we're using, I bet those guys are on tour and they do that. They'll have even with Love Engineer, not all the time, but sometimes we had a backup plan. Even it was for the drummer, our drummer. And we did shows with other drummers. That's in Love Engineer. That was the only time we ever did. We used different because we had problems with our drummer. So we had to have a contingency plan. Like, will he show up? Is he in a good mood? How many beers does he drink? This, that, Is he going to quit the band again? Unnecessary aggravation and honesty. It's kind of what put not just, I can't point the finger, but it was, it didn't go smoothly. And we should have did better. But yeah, we would use drummers. Shows in Chicago, grab so-and-so, Kent Stewart was one of our main guys. He was the go-to guy. He's a great drummer. So we need, he could learn. Like the next day we're playing with this guy. He's good. Yeah, like he would, again, I got to take it off the kid, man, bless his heart. And then we had, I shouldn't name, but we had other dude, what. So you're going to have, even on our level, you need that. When you're a big, how many people are on payroll on this tour? Like 140, 250? I don't know, but show must go on. So yeah, you're going to have a dude. That's why Tommy has this other dude, the drummer, he's on salary, or we're like, hey bro, the tour, your time's not feeling good. You're going to have, maybe have a bunch of people. Usually the any tech, like say a guitar tech, the bass tech, the drum tech, you want somebody that knows your songs. We did it back in the day. Hey, we never had to do it except with the drummer. And everybody had to pull through. There's just times when you're sick, hungover, got a broken arm, whatever it is. You just, I never canceled any gigs. I would just, I was always there. And you don't want to be canceling gigs. I mean, that's not a good thing. Solo, I had to cancel gigs. Like I moved, and in fact, I would be like, look, I've moved. I know the gig's in a month, so I'm sorry, but I can't. And then, no, you're on no, I can't. I can't do it. I don't have a band anymore. And then they kind of get, oh, you didn't show up. Well, dude, I gave you a month. I mean, I told you. And when I was in like my solo band in LA, I had two options. It usually was my full band, which was a 3-piece, me on guitar, a bass player, and drummer. And then I could do a solo show. I didn't do as many solo shows. So there were times where I was headlining like Mr. T's Bowl or somewhere, and there's like 4 bands below me, and something happens. Like my revolving door policy with my band, it sucks because in LA, people go for the opportunity. I get it, especially when you get paid. I ain't paying any. I'm paying people with like Taco Bell and beer. So I mean, you get an opportunity. I'm gonna go on a cruise ship. Go. I get it. Sucks for me, but so I had a gig, and it was supposed to be my full band, and I loved the promoter. It was at Mr. T's Bowl, which I had to get a hold of him. Like, look, man, I don't have my full band. I'm gonna have to do my solo show, one-man dude, or get another band. And they went, yeah, we'll get another band because these other bands, you don't want to go on after these. Some of them were like touring, but we're from Austin, Texas. You didn't have. So it was cool. Like I got it. And some people were like, yeah, do your solo show. But so you have to have a contingency. I'm not. And I wonder what they to replicate some of those Motley Crue apps, especially the like older ones. Some of those songs. There's so much going on. Somewhat it's you'd have to have a lot of people on stage. You have to have a couple keyboards and 5 girls and another rhythm guitar. But yeah, I wish them all the best. I hope that, again, I'm just critiquing this. When I saw it, I was looking and go, man, this is awesome. If I was there, I'd be like, woo, hey, good time. People having a good time. That's what people need. It's just my kind of thing with it is, should you be more, again, lean into it, be like, hey, yeah, we're Motley Crue. We do what we want to do, ministering at 9 Inch Nails. They've never played without it. But there is, again, in that world, it seems like I don't get it. Like, it's okay with some, matter of fact, it's almost expected and it's like more sophisticated. But then another, in that world, then another world, like say straight rock and roll. It's not, no, I would probably do it myself, especially the money they're making. Sure, I'd get up there and strum a guitar that's not plugged in. Or whatever, patched in when here comes your solo. And they all have inner ear monitors, which now are really sophisticated. And man, there's probably people talk, okay, here comes the breath. It'd probably drive them nuts. It's like, hey, take this name out of my and I bet that'll leak out too. Kiss had their inner ear monitor. Their Kiss is playing to he's lip syncing, Again, I love Kiss, and I get it. You're older. But yeah, you put on a show. It's a great show. You should admit it. Like, what? Hey, and maybe they do now. Maybe there are. But I just hope that again, this might become the norm. In other world, like, even rappers and Britney Spears and people like that, it's all pre-recorded. People don't care, hey, what? It's just in this rock and roll world where you think, hey, no, admit it. Say, yeah, we're older. We want it to sound the best. We want people to hear like the album. We don't want them to. I wonder what they sound like, just those 4 guys. Like, how they sound nowadays. They you want a cohesive show. I'm sure they were in pre-production. They went through that set probably a couple times a day or whatever. But people are going to be, again, most people don't know, so they might be shocked that they're not really at a real live show. And it is live. Some of it is, but it's pre-recorded. It's theater, I love these bands. Again, I would go see it, but they've got to be honest. You understand what I'm saying? You're like, again, Motley Crue, they're like, I would do whatever, we don't give a fuck. Again, in the 80s, like Ministry, they had tapes. It was even harder back then, I bet. I was asked this was like around 2007. I'm not going to name the band, but my fiance at the time, they it was a touring, and he was a replacement singer for this band, and they needed a guy to do the trigger, like they're kind of like a rock industrial, and they were going on tour. They did these short stints, 2 weeks here, week or 2 off, 2 weeks here, and they needed a dude to do that. And I was thinking about it, and then when I was talking, they're like, "Yeah, man, we just been firing everybody." And I was like, "Wait, I don't want to be stuck on the road somewhere." You're mad at me because I didn't get the click off, or what? So I turned it down. I was like, "Nah, So that goes on. Again, I'm not. Well, technically, I'm kind of pointing the finger, but I mean, I saw the footage. I thought it was cool. I thought all the bands. Again, I'm open minded enough to like different kinds of music. Like I like all kinds of. I don't want to pitch. I just want to like box myself into this. But they will be exposed. It's gonna happen. It's gonna glitch. It's gonna do something or other. It's gonna tick 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 tick. Get stuck. It's they need to have a press release or something like, hey, remember that we're all in our 60s. And hell, Joan Jett's probably older than all of them, probably. And she sounded good. And there was some live guitars and vocals, but I could hear something like either the drum or I don't know. Even she was, and then Poison, definitely. That's when I saw it. I was like, okay. And those guys don't, and I'm kind of, where's all the stage clothes? Like, boy, they look like roadies. You couldn't even see. They just look like they throw on a t-shirt and the blue jeans I was wearing yesterday. Aren't you guys, like, even Motley Crue to a certain extent wouldn't, Tommy Lee looked like he was in pajamas, man. Like, dude, like, that's another, man, I'm more pissed at that. I want to see some cool stuff. And Poison is kind of known for that. I know they're older and probably got to wear wigs. I don't know. Or bandanas. But get your Poison on. Woo, look at how you guys used to look. That's what people want to see. I'm not talking about makeup, just a little bit more rock and roll. Like, don't go there in a dirty t-shirt and baggy pants. Is kind of, I don't know. I never wore. I wish I could have gotten away with that. I wish could have been a peacock and wearing it. I either wore always. If you see any picture, I was always like in a blue or black shirt or a white shirt and blue jeans or black jeans and like combat boots. That's all I grew up around. Oh, well, my first band, Sinister, we tried. I mean, I'd have like exercise pants with like a bandana around my knee. I mean, I was 15, 16 years old. Then we dropped that because we looked stupid. We started like, man, we can't pull it off. Where do we get spandex in Tennessee back in the 80s, a small town? Like, you can't. We were going to the Goodwill, we didn't know. I would have loved to have been able to. But one of my secrets and a vocal secret of mine is like to take a hot shower, like about as close as you can to the gig. Now, this is personally me, and I actually teach it to my clients back then when I taught vocal lessons. But like, I would stay. At first, you're just hanging out at the club drinking until you go on. But then after a while, we're having like headlining and bigger clubs. I would wait. I wouldn't hang out before the show. I wouldn't even watch the opening bands. I would stay at home. I'd actually nap, lay around in bed. Okay, 2 hours before the show, get in the shower, take a hot shower, get all your breathing, warm up in the shower, loosens you up. And at the most, get there like maybe an hour before the show. Sometimes it's like, and that kind of got my routine. People thought, oh, it's so I could prepare myself for, sometimes we didn't go on until like 11 or midnight. Some days I'd work that day or, I realized once we did the show, I couldn't hang out and drink like a case of beer before I went. Stop it. Couldn't do it. I had to pace myself. Then I couldn't go to the after party either because I have to maybe work or I got to get another gig the next night. That's another thing. We do like 3 nights in a row. We'd be here, there, whatever. Sometimes I think we did the most like 7. You might have a day up and then another. We were playing a lot. It's either 92 or 93 that year our CD came out. We played like 150 plus gigs. If you play twice a weekend, what's that? Over 100 gigs. So we were playing. It was more than 150. And I used to find itineraries. I wish I had a lot of if you go to my Facebook, one of my the old roadies, Richie, he posted one of his laminates for Love Engineer. I'd forgotten about those, and I wish I'd have saved all the merch and T-shirts and flyers and this, that, and the other stickers, and I tried to. And in my storage, I know I have some stuff, but I've moved so much and traveled. You just kind of, I've been robbed, people stealing shit, so you just can't. If you do have any Love Engineer stuff or any of my solos that darting out, whatever it is, try to email it to me or post it on Facebook. So I'm honestly in agreement with these bands like Motley Crue, Def Leppard, Poison, Joan Jett. Yeah, it sounds good. The vocals are, but it's live vocals. I mean, the background vocals are pre-recorded too. And I'm sure there's some of the background, and there's some like they'll punch in at the end so the drum sounds like he's hit, on the guitar. Yeah, he'll punch him in for that solo a little bit, but I can hear the other solo going. I mean, come on. So I get it, but they need to admit it. They need to be like, look, yeah, don't put the finger up. I mean, Nine Inch Nails does it. Ministry, who else? White Zombie. I mean, not White Zombie, Rob Zombie. And God knows who else. I mean, all the rap bands and everybody plays to record it. I mean, that's just the thing. I mean, that's just new technology. Hey, man. But go see Motley Crue. Go see the tour. Support the bands. I wonder who's the next to kind of need to be replaced. Hey, we got this guy sitting. Maybe at the end of the tour, it won't even be the original band. It'll be like 3 or 4 other dudes that, hey, I mean, they're getting older, and this is a machine. I mean, I couldn't do it. A tour like this, even the most comfortable, people don't realize that, think about, okay, how long is the tour going to last? Like 3 months. You're not going to have a day alone hanging out watching TV, maybe in a hotel, you don't know. But that changes you. And then once by the time you get your groove going, has this, that, now the tour's over. And then that's where people get in problems too. They get off the road and they're like, I don't know what to do with myself. That's a thing. So I'm not pointing the finger. I love these bands. Motley Crue is my favorite out of all of them. I mean, I think Motley Crue is one of my favorite bands. I love the whole attitude. The first 2 albums, man. Some of my favorites. But look, I love y'all. Again, give some Motley Crue and Def Leppard and Poison and Joan Jett some love. Take care. Be blessed. And I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.